You know what's missing in today's world? It's called justice. You know, somebody get assassinated and people, they show their condolences, they give medals of honor, they condemn the act. Everyone has an opinion, but where is justice? You know, who can finalize the act and judge, right? Where is judgment, right? How can you know what is right or wrong if you cannot judge? You know, Charlie Kirk was a person with hate crimes, a racist, somebody that was tribalistic, a very unpolite person, you know, a very indecent person, like somebody that likes to play games and trigger people. You know, there are certain weaknesses that people have. You can point these things and trigger a reaction out of people. And you can be a very good Machiavellian manipulator. You know, going into a certain social setting, knowing that where the weaknesses are, and chessing all the minds against each other, and then displaying yourself as a certain type of person, glorying in vanity. You know what I mean? It's a very harsh tone. I understand. Making people angry, you know, there's so many ways you can make a point, right? It's just like cartoonists. They depict certain people in a way that they want to trigger a reaction. It's trigger content. You know, if you on a big giant stage and you make this trigger content, you're going to get these hostile emotions against you. It's just the way it is. It's a hate speecher. It's a, you know, that's the one side of the coin. But does a person like that deceiver like that, does that manipulator deserve a fucking bullet in the neck? There's the issue. This is called justice. What type of person deserves the death penalty? In different states that varies, you know. Right? So the system is overreacting. Charlie Kirk's reputation went from a middleman type of figure into legendary, the legends. You know, the death of Michael Jackson was something that was all over the place. No, the death of Charlie Kirk is overstimulated, systemic overwriting. The whole system is talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. The honor that this man has. The system is correcting the honor. So we have one side inside of the system that has nothing to lose, only angry. Life is turning against them, and people are starting to make fun out of them, being insensitive to them, laughing and mocking and scoffing, triggering the sensitivities. Very unkind. But you leaving someone's child, you know, daughters alone, no dad, you know, you're leaving a woman behind, a widow. You know, that's, you're damaging a family. You're destroying someone for what? Having an opinion. And you don't know if your opinion is right or wrong. It's a debate. Nobody knows, at least none of you knows what the difference between right and wrong is. You're all theorizing. If you knew what the difference between right and wrong was, the world wouldn't look as messed up like this. So nobody really knows, right? So the man has honor, and when the evil energy that wants to punish him for his crimes, angels and devils, right? Punishment, retribution, karma, when this wheel starts spinning, when the punishment angel comes upon the earth to inflict damage in this system, I'm talking about the system. When somebody's hate speeching or causing societarian issues on that scale, we got figures like that. What about Andrew Tate or Elon Musk or figures like that? When we have these systemic disturbers, yeah, when that retribution falls upon them, it enters in some person that has nothing to lose, who doesn't know how to deal with loss and just overreacts. The system, when it wants to correct itself from barbarism, it doesn't have a decent mechanism to correct these little issues. because that's what Mr. Kirk was suffering. It were just little issues. Okay? How big of a crime is it to be a racist when your father, your mother, your uncle, and your whole fucking neighborhood is racist? That's your norm. Can you help that? Do you deserve a bullet for that? Of course not. If you are, knowingly, intelligently, you have been confronted, you have been patiently debated with, and you willfully are racist, it's like that's when you inflict higher punishment, right? So punishment is something that needs to be carefully administered, and that's where this system is going wrong. So there are people in the West with high destinies, high birthright, high systemic energy, high honor levels, and when that correction comes down upon us here in the West, the overreaction leaves families crippled. And that triggers this systemic mind to overreact like this. Polish Parliament, European Parliament. What have these Aussies to do with this, right? It is a rescaling of the balance. You have to understand this thing. Daughter, no father. What do you think that does? And what about that woman? All of a sudden, husband gone. Left, over for the sharks to go get her and manipulate her and all that kind of stuff. She lost the protection. Those are all damages that not correct. So the systemic mind is correcting that, so that when the children grow up, dad had Medal of Honor, dad is world famous, so that honor level, that the children feel good about themselves because they don't have a dad no more. I'm making this video as a service to you in the West so that you understand. The issue we're facing here is the overreaction towards fucking assholes. Yeah, assholes need to be dealt with, but not in a way of overreaction. And I'm judging against your overreaction. The social debate, this overreaction needs to be dealt with.